commitment throughout these weeks of hearings. To the members of the public who offered testimony, thank you for your engagement and sharing your voice throughout this process. To deliver for our communities and the people who call it home, the budget must fund the services that support New Yorkers and our city. We need to get back to the basics of what makes our city work for families and communities and not take away or deny resources from 3K and early childhood education, cultural institutions, affordable housing, libraries, schools, parks, mental health care, programs that reduce recidivism and provide safety, senior services, and other essential services. The Council's preliminary budget response put forward a plan for smart investments that meet our current needs and lay the foundation for our future. While the mayor's executive budget took some steps to reverse a fraction of the administration's cuts, it left far too many cuts in place and inadequately funded vital programs. This must be addressed in the adopted budget. This week, the Council unveiled our latest economic and tax forecast, which shows consistent revenue projections that continue to outpace OMB's by $1.1 billion for fiscal years 2024 and 2025. The updated forecast provides clarity that the city can, in fact, restore cuts to protect essential services and invest in the needs of New Yorkers. We cannot withhold the programs and services that New Yorkers need when the resources exist to avoid that outcome. The City Council will continue to represent the needs and voices of our constituents at the negotiating table, working to ensure our communities receive the investments they deserve. Now let's move on to our stated agenda. First, we'll vote on the following finance items. Resolution 412, sponsored by Councilmember Sandy Nurse, will set the date, place, and time for a public hearing on legislation to establish the Cypress Hills Fulton Business Improvement District. Resolution 421, sponsored by Councilmember Julie Wan, will set the date, place, and time for a public hearing on legislation to expand the Queens Plaza Court Square Business Improvement District and rename it the Long Island City Business Improvement District. A preconsidered resolution sponsored by Councilmember Justin Brannan will set the discount rate for early payment of property taxes for fiscal year 2025. A preconsidered resolution sponsored by Councilmember Justin Brannan authorizing a 40-year Article 11 tax exemption for the preservation of 4 rent-stabilized buildings in Councilmember Hudson's district. A revenue budget modifications recognizing $619 million in new revenues, implementing changes reflected in the April 2024 financial plan. This revenue will add $619 million to pay for partial budget restoration for the Department of Cultural Affairs, rental assistance, foster care services, pupil transportations, CUNY STEM program, and other initiatives. And a transparency resolution approving new designations and changes of certain organizations receiving funding in the expense budget. Next, we'll vote on the following land use items. 15 through 21, West 124th Street text amendment will facilitate the construction of a new 7-story building with 33 housing units in Councilmember Salam's district. Sunnyside Barnett, an Article 11 tax exemption to facilitate the construction of a new 7-story mixed-use 100% affordable housing building with 185 units and community facility space in Councilmember One's district. Today, we'll also vote on the following pieces of legislation. Introduction 134A, sponsored by Majority Whip Sylvina Brooks Powers, would require the New York City Economic Development Corporation, or EDC, to submit an annual report to certain elected officials, including the council speaker, Queensborough president, and the local council member representing JFK International Airport on the progress of the JFK redevelopment plan and related community benefits package. Each report would include information on the progress and any changes to the scope, timeline, or budget of the redevelopment plan, actions taken by the Port Authority, such as property acquisitions, contracts awarded to MWBEs, permit applications, and the establishment of advisory boards and any other relevant information as determined by EDC. I now invite Majority Whip Brooks Powers to the podium to discuss her legislation.
Thank you, Speaker Adams. And I am so pleased to be here today as we prepare to vote on Intro 134A, a bill that would require the New York City Economic Development Corporation to submit an annual report to the Council, the Queensborough President's Office, and the council member in which JFK Airport sits in, District 31, on the progress of the JFK redevelopment program and related to community benefits package. The JFK redevelopment program is a $19 billion plus infrastructure program underway that has such a potential to be transformative not only to the airport itself, but to the surrounding and most impacted neighborhoods which it is nestled within. The report would also include actions taken by the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey related to the plan and community benefits package, such as property acquisitions, if applicable, contracts awarded to MWBEs and local businesses, and any other relevant information determined by EDC. The goal of this bill is to keep the council and public informed about the project for as long as it continues. While the redevelopment has a community advisory council for which I was a part of forming and currently sit on, I must say I've been dismayed by the lack of true transparency by the Port Authority through its failure to appear before the City Council as well as the New York State Senate. This is a dangerous posture to take as an agency to refuse to appear before any legislative body when we have so much on the line. Currently, the Port Authority determines when meetings occur, what the agency will include, what the agenda, will include, and has not always been consistent with submitting timely reports to EDC as set out in its lease. In the spirit of transparency, it is important the City of New York ensures the components within the lease are fulfilled, and members of the Southeast Queens communities truly benefit from this development. I want to take a moment to give a personal thank you to Speaker Adams for co-sponsoring this bill, as well as Queensborough President Donovan Richards and all of my colleagues in the Southeast Queens community and the members of the community for their advocacy on this legislation. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Introduction 97C, sponsored by Councilmember Sandra Ung, would set a civil penalty against commercial manufacturing or industrial building owners for sidewalk littering and obstruction of $50 for the first violation, $300 for the second violation committed on a different day within any 12-month period, and $500 for the third and each subsequent violation committed on a different day within any 12-month period. The bill would also require the Department of Sanitation to produce educational materials related to the charges or the changes in penalties and to perform outreach to owners of affected buildings. I invite Councilmember Ung to discuss her legislation.
Thank you, Speaker, for giving me an opportunity to speak on behalf of Intro 97. This legislation is an important step toward ensuring our city remains clean and vibrant for all who live, work, and visit here. The primary objective of Intro 97 is clear: to address the persistent issue of litter and debris in front of commercial, manufacturing, and industrial businesses by increasing the fines for chronic violators of our city's sanitation laws. I want to emphasize that this legislation is not designed to place additional burdens on our small businesses, which are the backbone of our economy. Instead, it targets those businesses that repeatedly disregard the regulations, treating existing fines as a mere inconvenience and cost of doing business rather than a serious deterrent. We all know that the majority of business owners are responsible and conscious members of our community. However, we cannot deny there are some business owners who continually flout these rules, undermining our collective efforts to keep our city clean. It is for the repeat offenders that Intro 97 introduces stricter penalty. By increasing fines for these repeat offenders, we aim to incentivize better compliance and ultimately reduce the amount of litter and debris on our streets. I'm proud to support the Department of Sanitation for Intro 97. They agree that the higher fines for repeat offenders will be available too in their mission to keep our city clean. I want to thank New York City Speaker Adrienne Adams for her leadership as we move this bill through its legislative process to get to the vote today. By passing this bill, we take a crucial step toward a cleaner, healthier, and more beautiful New York City for everybody. Thank you.
Okay. Introduction 584A, sponsored by Councilmember Eric Dinowitz, would require the 311 call center to implement a virtual queue system that provides an estimated wait time for callers. I invite Councilmember Dinowitz to speak about his legislation.
Well, thank you, Madam Speaker. Good afternoon, everyone. As we're talking about the budget, it was just mentioned DSNY, all of the city agencies we're trying to invest in, all of the services we're trying to invest in this budget rather than cut. There is a portal through which our constituents access all of the services our city provides, and that's 311. And it's very important that that one singular portal is as responsive and efficient as possible for New Yorkers. And you think of any company, Con Edison, Optimum, you call them up, and if you're going to wait on the phone, they at least tell you how long you're going to be waiting. And so this bill, 584A 2024, does just that. It provides a virtual queue system that provides an estimated wait time for telephone callers. So it gives the constituents an exact time after which their case will be taken on by the city. It reassures constituents that their cases do matter and that there will be an agent on the line to take their case in a timely fashion. And it also holds our city accountable. Giving a wait time to the constituent would enforce a timeliness on the part of the 311 service to reach the constituent in a manner that's respondent and efficient. This is in no way to disparage 311 service request system. It's our city's foremost way for constituents to directly better their quality of life and access the services that are so critical to their quality of life, the services that we are fighting for in this budget. And we need to be able to adapt and change and take on these new challenges and update our 311 system as technology improves. And we need to continue to stand as a shining example of our city's quality of care for our constituents. I want to take the time to thank Speaker Adams and my fellow council members for their immense support they have shown on this bill. It is a testament to how important 311 is to our constituents, and I look forward to partnering with everyone to make it an even more efficient and effective system. Thank you.
Lastly, we will be voting on a package of legislation designed to improve the safety and building integrity of our city's parking garages. These bills are critical, especially after the garage collapse at 57 Ann Street, steps away from here in Lower Manhattan last year that resulted in the death of garage manager Willis Moore and injured 5 others. It is imperative that our city works to prevent these types of fatal incidents from occurring in the future. Introduction 231A, sponsored by Councilmember Crystal Hudson, would increase the frequency of parking structure inspections from a 6-year inspection cycle, as mandated by Local Law 126 of 2021, to a 4-year inspection cycle. It would also require that follow-up assessments be conducted within 2 years after a parking structure is deemed safe with repair or monitoring. I invite Councilmember Hudson to discuss her legislation.
It's a new day. You could use it. You could use the same one. I'll save it here for you. Just over a year ago, we witnessed a parking structure collapse in the heart of the financial district, claiming the life of a beloved New Yorker mere blocks from City Hall. In the wake of this tragedy, the city scrambled to inspect other parking structures throughout the city, ultimately finding that dozens of buildings had similar hazardous defects. In fact, a New York Times investigation found that serious structural problems are widespread and in many cases have been allowed to persist uncorrected for years. The Times reporting identified more than 36 garages across the city that have been cited recently for crumbling ceilings, exposed and rusting reinforcing bars, and other defects. Other garages were cited for holding more vehicles than legally permitted. This garage had several outstanding violations that appeared never to have been corrected before the collapse, including a case from 2003 in which inspectors cited the building for cracked, degraded, and defective concrete. It's the government's responsibility to guarantee the integrity of the infrastructure that shapes our communities, and that certainly includes parking structures. Doing so keeps New Yorkers safe, and the passage of Intro 231 will help us bolster New Yorkers' sense of security and serve as a tangible step toward ensuring our city's government is a proactive force rather than a reactive one. Last year's tragedy was preventable, and hopefully this bill will prevent future tragedies from occurring. Thank you.
You can leave it there. Lincoln might need it.
Okay.
No shade, no shade. Vertically challenged. I'm good. I've got my heels on. We do have fun in the council. Introduction 170A, sponsored by Majority Leader Amanda Farias, would double the standard civil penalties for certain DOB enforced violations when issued to the owner of a parking structure. This measure can promote improved compliance and result in better maintenance of the safety of parking garages. I invite Majority Leader Farias to the podium to discuss her legislation. If you don't need the box, just kick it.
Thank you. See how it feels? It's not that bad. The air is thinner and cleaner up here. Thank you, Speaker Adams. Good afternoon, everyone. This legislative package our council is passing today ensures that we keep workers and all New Yorkers safe inside and nearby parking garages for decades to come, and ensures maintenance of structures is proactive, not reactive, as my council colleague, Councilmember Hudson, stated. In the aftermath of the Ann Street parking garage collapse that echoed through the windows here at City Hall, the New York City Department of Buildings investigated 78 parking structures and ordered 4 of them to be closed immediately due to structural defects, and for the owners to make immediate repairs. Introduction 170A is a local law to amend the administrative code to increase penalties for Department of Building violations issued to parking structures. This law will double all initial violations related to parking structures, with the exception of sections 28-301.1 and 28-302.1, which had varying fees dependent on class and violation description. This is to create uniformity around parking structure violations. All subsequent violations related to parking structures that are not already laid out in this bill will be determined by DOB rulemaking. This local law shall take effect 180 days after it becomes law. That gives our garages approximately 6 months to make sure their infrastructure is up to our city's standards, and if not, there's a hefty fine to match it. Building violation penalties should not be an operating cost where companies can just pay and move on. This bill and the fees it outlines are intentionally priced to be a deterrent. People's safety is at risk, and that is something that this council is taking extremely seriously. With the package of today's bills, we will remember the Ann Street garage last April that resulted in the death of 1 worker, 59-year-old manager Willis Moore, and injured 5 more people. So thank you to everyone who worked on this essential safety legislation. Thank you to Councilmember Sanchez, who hosted the hearings and put the bill package together, and Speaker Adams for your leadership on this issue.
Okay. Where were we? Lincoln, where's? Okay. Finally, Introduction 135A, sponsored by Majority Whip Sylvina Brooks Powers, would require the Department of Buildings to conduct a load-bearing capacity study for parking garages. DOB would be required to assess factors of building integrity, such as the size, age, materials, and structural design of the parking structure. DOB would also be required to submit these findings and accompanying recommendations to the mayor and the council and post them to its website as a report. I invite Majority Whip Brooks Powers back to the podium to discuss her legislation.
Now I know I don't have to wear heels anymore.
Be careful with your stiletto.
There we go. Thank you, Speaker Adams. And I know, right? I didn't even need my heels today. But another bill we will vote on today is Intro 135A, which requires the New York City Department of Buildings to conduct structural load-bearing capacity studies on parking garages throughout New York City. The Department of Buildings would be required to assess factors like the size, age, material, and structural design of parking structures and come up with recommendations based on their findings. This bill, as it's been said before, comes as last spring, just a few blocks from here, a parking garage on Ann Street collapsed, which killed 1 and injured 5 others. This tragedy raised urgent questions in the minds of New Yorkers across all 5 boroughs about the safety of our parking garage infrastructure. The city's goal must be to prevent something like this from ever happening again. And we need to ensure that our standards and procedures guarantee the structural integrity of our garages, that no New Yorkers need to fear parking in a New York City garage. This legislation, accompanied by the 2 additional bills sponsored by Majority Leader Amanda Farias and Councilmember Crystal Hudson, will ultimately ensure parking garages across the city are structurally safe. I want to extend my thanks once again to Speaker Adams, of course, Majority Leader Farias, who helped usher through the bill on JFK that we're going to be voting on today, as well as Chair Parina Sanchez for prioritizing 2 very important issues for their collective commitment and advocacy on behalf of New Yorkers citywide. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay. Okay, that does conclude our stated agenda. And with that, we will take on-topic questions first. By on-topic, we're referring to the bills that we are passing today. Jeff Colton.
I see that there is a Parkland alienation home rule bill passing. Have there been further discussions about Parkland alienation regarding the casinos, the other Parkland alienation bills?
We are not there yet as far as discussions are concerned. We are taking a look at everything that's coming up, into the council's purview, so the answer to that is no.
I have a question for all 3 of the council members on the parking garage safety bills. So last month, the buildings commissioner said the department doesn't have the capacity to do the study proposed in 135. He said they don't support 170 because they already have a mechanism to increase penalties, and he suggested council members hold off on 231 because the inspection requirement is new. Is it a good idea to pass these bills despite the objections of the department buildings?
Anybody on the bills?
There's like 3.
So as it pertains to 135, since you mentioned it, we went through extensive communication with the administration to get the bill to where it needed to be, including changing the date of the study being needed to be ready, which was initially 180 days. So we've extended that out in recognition that they would need more time. And quite honestly, some of the work that they've been doing since the collapse has taken a long time. So taking that into account, we worked with the administration to make sure it was a more realistic date. I also held off on a second bill that pertains to the collapse, waiting for the results of this study to determine what additional steps may or may not need to be taken.
In terms of whether or not that they have a fee structure in place, what I will say to that is back to my points of investigating 78 parking structures and having to issue 4 of them to immediately close shows that the fees and the penalties that we had in place were operating costs for many of these businesses, and the follow-up to that was not actually maintaining the infrastructure that we need for people to park in those structures, walk in those structures, work in those structures. And so we want this to be a deterrent. We want places to be up to code, not in violation, and still operating. And then to be quite frank with you and open, we all negotiate the bills, as the Majority Whip stated with her process. What came back from the administration did not go back to what was presented at the hearing, and so we came to terms on multiple different items on the bill, and we moved forward.
I would just add lastly that New Yorkers need to feel safe, and what we're doing in passing these laws is creating more confidence in the infrastructure that we have in this city. And if that's something the administration wants to push back on, then that's on them, but not on the council.
On the parking garage bills again, specifically on 135A, could you describe how that's different from what the DOB is currently required to inspect? Is load bearing capacity not currently a part of their required sort of inspections every 6 years, I believe it was? And then second, would this
So, in working with the administration on this particular study, the study is looking at a sample size of the parking garages, so it will not extend to every single parking garage, and it will be various sizes as well that we'll be looking at and structures. And so we're looking, again, as I mentioned in my remarks, in terms of the size, age, material, and structural design of this structure, so that it can help to inform future legislation in terms of what other steps need to be taken into account to ensure that the structural integrity is there, which we see is not the case in many of these different facilities.
Sort of like a double check on the existing inspection process.
I don't know if I'll go as far as to say it's a double check, because again, I think that this has an intention to go, further than just the study. This is just the first bite at the apple, if you will, on the conversation. Thank you.
Anyone else for on topic? Okay, off topic? Michael?
Hello, Michael.
So on the advice and consent, I'm told it's advice, not advise. We initially heard that there were several agencies that this was intended to be subject to. And later we saw a memo that listed like 21 that it could potentially be subject to. Do you have like a preference on certain agencies that you feel it's more necessary to have advice and consent on? And, if so, why? Like, why are certain agencies, like, is there more preference that you feel like it's necessary to have that in place?
Thank you, Mike. It's good to see you, by the way. Thank you for the question. This is a start. There are many, many agencies, over 80 agencies, so this was a start for us. And, who's to say what may or may not be looked at in the future, but this was a start for us. We thought that it made sense, and that's the way that we proceeded.
Speaker, curious what the impetus was for this legislation, the advice and consent, and then also if you view the mayor's forming of a charter revision commission suddenly this week, seemingly suddenly, as a way to block this legislation.
Thank you, Ethan. Well, this isn't for me. It's something that I've had interest in way before becoming the speaker. So, and that's on record as well years ago. It's about good government and effective governing, period. We don't advance legislation based on the current or any one executive, but rather what's believed to be in the best interest of the city and of New Yorkers. So that's the way we move forward on that. We think it's an important conversation to have. Commissioners serve the city and all New Yorkers, not a single official, just like all of us do. So we want to start the conversation and see how things play out as it relates to the ballot. Bottom line is, again, it's about good government, and I believe that advice and consent actually improves government by ensuring our commissioners are the most qualified, and they start their tenures by building confidence and support across the government, across the public, in a way that yields faster and positive outcomes for our entire city. The second part of your question, as far as the commission is concerned, it's a very important commission. The timing is convenient, in our opinion. But it's a very, very serious undertaking, and it requires time, it requires consideration, and it really should be done with the benefit of New Yorkers in mind and the ability for them to truly engage in the entire process. So, again, I'm using the expression good government again because a charter revision commission should be focused on good government and improving democracy. So that's my answer to that.
Speaker.
Hi, Nick.
First on advice and consent, can you talk about the provision that would allow for measure to appear in a special election ballot? I've heard that it would potentially happen in January if the charter commission blocked it. Can you confirm what the timing would be for that special election?
I really can't. We're still preliminary. And again, this is about starting the discussion. We haven't really looked, way down the road to, determine what things would look like if the response from the commission were to be what you said. So we're just in preliminary with discussion, hopefully.
Second question about City of Yes. Obviously, both the economic opportunity plan and the housing one down the line, both are somewhat controversial, I know, within the council. Could you just talk about kind of your philosophy when it comes to how to balance reaching consensus but still passing a plan that has real substance? Like, would you be willing to sacrifice 20 no votes if it means passing a plan that has more muscle to it?
Oh my goodness, you packed a lot into that question. I wouldn't exactly say that, Nick, because all of these things require a lot of engagement. It requires engagement between council members, between the administration, between the community, and a lot of other factors that go into it. So I wouldn't say, the voting per se, the number thing yet, because the process is very, very intricate. We try to strike the right balance when it comes to addressing concerns while still achieving the goal of, updating whatever outdated information we're dealing with out there. In this case, it's the zoning. So it's a very, very intricate process, and it involves a whole lot of different pieces to the puzzle. Yeah, thank you.
You have had a long interest in advice and consent.
Yeah.
You introduced a bill about oversight of the NYPD
Yep.
commissioner. This time, that wasn't in the discussions. Why not? Is there fear it would be too hot? And then additionally, I know it's preliminary, but are you looking at ways to stop this charter revision commission? Is that in the interest of the council?
Thank you, Jeff. Again, in taking a look at the agencies, this is a start of the conversation. Certain agencies, we stayed off of uniformed first responders and, associated agencies. So we stayed off. We really, really want to take a look at, again, the agencies that we felt that were strong agencies, of course, but again, this is just the beginning. The second part of your question was about the commission. Say it again.
Yeah, are you looking into ways to stop the charter revision commission to, make it not on the ballot in November? It's early, I know.
It's early. We're not looking at anything like that. Again, a charter revision commission should be focused on good government, and if that's the intention of this commission, I wouldn't want to stop it. I wouldn't want the council to stop it. If it's a commission that is going to be focused on retribution, however, then we're looking at something totally different. And quite frankly, I would hope that that would not be the case in spite of the rumblings that we've heard.
It doesn't, how many stops is clearly a part of the discussions there. Do you consider that to be retribution for how many stops?
How many stops? And it's interesting, the conversation around that, and the fact that it may have been you that reported the conversations. It was you?
Yes.
No wonder you brought it up. It would have been conversations around how many stops and the influence of the public. That is the precise intention of every single New York City Council hearing, to bring about the opinions of the public, be it in person, be it virtually, for how many hours it takes us to sit in chambers to listen to everybody that has an opinion. So it's kind of baffling that, the thought would be that the public would not ever be engaged in anything, how many stops or anything else, because that is the precise intention of oversight.
On 3K, DOE and the mayor's office keep saying that there's enough seats. Technically there are, but parents will face long commutes to get their toddler to school. Do you think that's acceptable? Does that count as everyone having a seat if it's not a seat they can reasonably use?
Well, our purpose still is to make sure that we're doing the proper outreach to make sure that we're handling the vacancy situation, that parents know that seats are available. So our intention right now is restoring and making sure that we're setting the playing field very, very level where it has not been. As far as transportation and everything else, those conversations will come up later on. Thank you.
Thank you. Have you had conversations with the mayor and his team about Charter Revision Commission to this point? And second, you mentioned it's an important commission, a lot of potential. Is there anything that you would want this commission or even a future commission that could establish in legislation to look at regarding the balance of power, the way the branches of government interact?
The answer to the first part is no. We have not discussed this. All of this is 48 hours old or so, we haven't discussed anything. As far as impaneling a Charter Revision Commission, I would have loved to have discussed this as something coming down the line, but this has happened very, very quickly, so that opportunity has not presented itself. Okay?
Okay, thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everybody. Okay, let's get to work.
Speaker, you're not going